Hi, we are Seth and Annie Jurrens, the owners of Refill Goods, and this is our YouTube video debut. So we are very active on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, but this is our first time posting anything to YouTube. So I thought it would be fun to get Seth's perspective because I'm usually the one running our Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. But yeah, I thought this would be a good, more long form and see what Seth has to say about all of this. Talk to me. Tell me where the idea for this whole thing came from.
Sure. So we lived in Canada for a while. We were kind of living a slower lifestyle and making a lot of our meals from scratch, and that led to us trying to find the cheapest way of doing things. We had a limited income, and so there was a bulk food store in town called the Bulk Zone that we did a lot of our shopping from, and brought our own mason jars. I love the idea of being able to just buy what we needed and not have to have a bunch of extra packaging. And part of that was because all of the trash that we were generating went to a dump that was on the property that we were living on. And when you went to the dump, through the trash there, I mean, it wasn't the best. You could see waste from the last 40 years that was still there because it was plastic or products that just didn't break down, and got me thinking about how we could change that, how we could reduce some of that waste in our lives. So as we were writing stuff down, we started thinking about what we wanted the store to look like, and thinking about what other places have inspired us and would like to emulate. Some of those that come to mind now are Terra Market in Minneapolis, and then there's People's Food Co-op in Rochester, Seward Co-op in Minneapolis. There was Eggplant Urban Farm Store in St. Paul, which is just down the street from where we used to live. And then we ended up taking a little mini getaway to Chicago last year and went to several different stores there. Eco and the Flamingo.
The Waste Shed. The Waste Shed was cool.
The Waste Shed.
Yeah, which was all recycled or donated art materials, which was
we
really
love
cool.
that. So we got to thinking more about, not just having new stuff that we got from wholesalers, but also having some used things.
So we were in a smaller space for a while getting started, and then while we were looking for a bigger space, we didn't find commercial space in town. It's really important for us to be somewhere where we can walk to where we're going. Found a house for our family 2 blocks away. So we started the process of renovating this house and rezoning this house so we could change it into a commercial space. So can you tell us a little bit about where we started when we were starting renovations?
Sure. I have a background with drafting and construction management stuff, so in my mind, the first thing I needed to do was just get a floor plan of the space, and so we could start kind of sketching out how we wanted the space to look, especially as we got to tear down walls potentially and start getting idea of where some shelving could go, the built-in shelving in particular, and then estimating what it would take to build that and what materials we would need, getting a list together. As we kind of got an idea of that, we made a couple trips to some different stores to get some ideas of what was available for styling of the paneling that we put in, and we made a trip to IKEA to get bookshelves that we could make into built-ins. There's dozens of different tutorials online of people doing that, so I poured over that and made a plan for what would fit into the space we wanted, and then that I was able to then figure out what height of baseboard we would need and buy that kind of thing. Yeah, along the way, we also were doing all the demo, taking down plaster and lath of the walls we knew we were looking into taking down. We needed to take the wall covering off, the plaster and lath, so that we could have an engineer take a look and make sure it wasn't load buried. We also knew that we needed to do something different with the ceiling, so we started taking that down. Basically making a pile of debris in the living room until it was big enough to put into a dumpster, which we then ordered. What made you go with the design choices here?
Yeah, I mean, like any good millennial, I started with Pinterest. Of course. I found that I was really drawn to like old greenhouses and classic styles. So the wood in the greenhouses and lots of plants and the greens and the black and white floor. I just, my Pinterest board got really pretty and I just really loved that. And the brick. So we try to recreate some of that just on a budget, right? Because I've been a stay-at-home mom in our family. We've been a single income family for years now. I was planning like real brick on the walls, but then we went to the store and saw how expensive that actually was going to be. So we got the brick paneling. But we did that, and then I just, went back to Pinterest of, do we want beadboard on the walls here or this up and down shiplap? And so we just kind of looked and thought about it. And this green, I was going between like a green like this or a darker green.
I was trying to decide between two colors and having a really hard time. I did polls on Instagram and people were pretty split, just 50-50. I had lots of good inspiration and I finally just decided I needed to pick a color and go for it. So I did, even though I was nervous the whole time because especially the first coat going on, it looked real bad. But the more coats I added, the better it looked, and I just really had to trust myself the whole time of, this is going to look good, this is going to look good, just do the work and it will look good. I didn't really have a lot of time to second guess. So here we are. Overall, I'm very happy with it.
And then the floors, we were thinking about doing tile on the whole first floor, but that would be about $25,000 that we did not have. So I was like, well, let's just try and paint them and see what happens. So I got out some paint, did some sketches in Procreate on the iPad, just to play with the scale a little bit and thought about how much work I actually wanted to do on it, and how much time we had. We were also on a deadline. So, I just thought about it and then drew it, and there's definitely, it's not perfect, which is kind of great because we have small kids and, they've already spilled hot chocolate and already colored in blue crayon on it. So like, it really is that lived in feel, and I think that's really nice. Tell me about the first night when we were open.
Yeah, so we had coordinated, well, Annie's especially has been coordinating with the other shop owners in town, but trying to have something where you can get people in town out and, patronizing more than one business at a time. So yeah, we were pleasantly surprised. I mean, how many people showed up for that event. It was, for us, it was very successful.
I mean, there were people in here all night long, and just tons of people. There was a line. You were in charge of the checking people out, which was great. And I was just walking around talking to people, and it was really fun.
We were open 3 to 8, and I don't think it was empty for more than a few minutes ever.
Yeah, nope. And people were coming before 3. That's the next year maybe we'll start in the morning, but
we'll be open all day. It was good for us this year to not be, because we're still trying to get finished up before.
All the way until 3 o'clock. We were still getting stuff priced and in the right places, and
we had been closed since late December, so definitely had a little bit of work to do after the construction was over to get ready for customers again.